Hi, I'm LJacksonBrown, and I'm delighted to present tips for getting your email read as an A&A 5 fast session. At the conclusion of this presentation, the participant will be able to discuss ways to avoid pitfalls when communicating using email and list 3 attributes of a good email. So, why do we write emails? Well, today, emailing is one of the most popular means of communicating. We use email in both our professional and personal lives. Emailing is convenient. We can send an email from our cell phone or an electronic pad or tablet. And let's be real, it is one of the fastest ways to communicate with others. So much so that we get disappointed when we have to send a document by mail or fax. In addition, emailing allows us to communicate with lots of people with just a click of a button. Yet, this rapid form of communication is not without challenges. Most of us have probably sent an email to the wrong person or did not use proper protocol when sending an email to groups or people where those in the group do not have a need to know the email addresses of others in the group. In this case, A&A policy states that when sending emails to A&A members, the sender must protect the privacy of the A&A member by blind copy. That is, send the email using BCC. Other challenges include that famous, "Oops, I forgot the attachment." I believe we all have fallen victim to the typo or grammar error in an email. You know the "Dear Mary, you are the best," except best is spelled BEAST. It reads instead, "Mary, you are the beast." When emails aren't written clearly, it may take 3 or more emails to explain the intent of the initial email. These challenges require extra work and waste time. Even when an email is written well, all may be lost if it never gets communicated because it was never sent. There it is, sitting in either your draft or outbox. Yet your temper begins to flare because you are perplexed as to why no one has replied. So, we need to develop approaches that improve our email etiquette and increases the chance that an email we send is clearly communicated to the right person. Whether you're writing an email as an A&A volunteer leader, as an employee of your company, or a personal email, you don't want bad sentence structure, typos, and grammar errors to distract from your message. To avoid this, slow down a few seconds to make your message meaningful. We live in a multimedia world where we are connected to communication devices all day. We are often distracted when typing a message. We may move from one messaging device to another without changing the style of our communication. Take texting and messaging for example. It is very acceptable when texting to use shortcuts such as IDK instead of "I don't know," or write "I am" instead of "I''M." These shortcuts are not proper when writing professional emails and may present problems when writing a personal email to a recipient who is not familiar with the meaning of the shortcuts. This miscommunication can delay a response to your email and again distract from your intended message. This brings me to the discussion point of what an email represents today. It is a forever communication trail that can be retrieved. If your email is flashed on the 6 o'clock news, how would you want it to be received? Yes, we all must think about that. I'm sure Neil Patterson, the CEO of a health IT company, did not think about the far reach of his impact and the potential damage it could cause when he shot off an angry email to his staff because the parking lot was half empty at 8 a.m. and pretty deserted by 5 p.m. In his email, it is said that Mr. Patterson slammed his staff for laziness and made threats to fire managers if the staff did not do better. He took further action by shutting down the gym and made comments that hell would freeze over before he would allow more benefits. The email was leaked, posted on the internet, and the company's stock dropped by 22% in 3 days. Was there a better way Mr. Patterson could have communicated his message? Certainly. So let's discuss some attributes of a good email that will get your readers reading and taking action. Address emails to the right person. Don't rely on your contact list to prompt you to who the right person is each time. You need to slow down and make sure you have the intended recipient. Clearly state your subject. In short words, tell the recipient why you are emailing them. Writing update in the subject line may not be clear enough. Update on venues for March meeting is a little clearer. And remember, most times you don't need words like the, this, is in the subject line. You want to keep it simple and short. You could even shorten the subject line to March meeting venue update, now using 4 words instead of 6. We share a lot of information with others via email, and some of it is important and needs to be read immediately, and some can be read at a later date. You can use the subject line to convey this. FYA for your action, or FYI for your information. If you need a reply or there is a due date, put that in the subject line. This information will help the recipient triage their email and help you get a response sooner. Use recipient's correct title, particularly when writing a professional email, and at least when your initial email to the recipient is received. Once regular communication is established, and depending on the formality of the messaging, you may be able to communicate without titles. Begin your message with why you are contacting the recipient, writing clearly, simply, using the active voice. When your message contains several points, practice chunking. That is, breaking your message into paragraphs of no more than 2 or 3 sentences with white space in between each paragraph. This helps the recipient move more easily through the message where they can pick up your main points. Stick to 1 but no more than 2 topics in an email. And don't use the same email title once you start a new conversation. Often people keep replying to a message where the topic, say, was about getting speakers for a meeting, and now the topic is about letters of recommendation. Go ahead and change the subject line. When we say what we want up front, we quickly capture the attention of the reader. Here in this example, Amy doesn't find out until the 3rd paragraph that she is actually the winner. In the second example, Amy knows up front that she won. In the first example, Amy may have stopped reading because the email sounded almost like a rejection email. Saying what you want up front captures the recipient's attention immediately. Yes, there are some who like others to know how smart they are, and they like to use those big words. However, when using email, it is not about how smart you are, it is more about how well you can communicate with others. And in the world of email communication, simple and concise is best. Avoid overly technical language and watch your email tone. If you have a personal relationship with the recipient, saying, "Hope you had a great holiday," is probably okay. Otherwise, keep the tone professional and respectful, avoiding slang, profanity, and those emoticons. Say those emoticons for texting. Other attributes of a good email include asking for action at closing, Send me a list of attendees. Follow up with me tomorrow. And if there are things that fit into a bullet format, please consider using that. It is much easier to read. Burying the date, time, room name, room location, and contact in the email makes it difficult for the recipient to locate key information. And the do not write in capital letters. Why? Because your recipient may think you are screaming at them. And perhaps you have a good reason to, but as we discussed earlier, emails can have far reach and can be hacked and go viral. Think about that 6 o'clock news spot. Helpful things to include in your email are deadlines, turnaround dates, links, and documents needed to carry out the action. If you already downloaded a document, send that instead of or along with the link. Remember, in this multimedia world, someone may be able to read an attached document on a plane but can't get to a link because they don't have access to the internet. Remember, the goal is to get your email read and acted upon, so be helpful to your recipient. When you do send attachments, let the recipient know. Although attachments can be helpful, some things are communicated best in the body of the email. Keep in mind, many people read emails from their cell phone and may not have an application to open attachments. Also, by including information in the body of the email, this will more readily inform the recipient and perhaps give them much faster access to important points without having to open an attachment. Meeting agendas are content that may be best communicated within the body of an email. In this format, the recipient can quickly get the dial-in information or meeting location. Also, when sending meeting invites via email that have room location and dial-in information, always include this information with the initial email and any subsequent reminder emails. Remember, you are helping your recipient win. Conclude with a closing and provide your contact information. This is particularly important for your email contact because if your email is forwarded and the second recipient needs to contact you, they may not be able to if your email server does not display your email address. Some email servers only display your name when an email is forwarded. Your email is never complete until you have read your email, aloud if possible, but definitely silently, listening for clarity, completeness of thought, and looking for grammar and spelling errors. There are times when having your email cleared by a process that involves others reading the email may be best. If you are sending information about a big chapter event, draft the email and send to other chapter officers and ask them to proofread it before it goes out. Remember, the message quality reflects on you and the organization. Bad grammar, misspelling, incorrect titles, incorrect dates, and wrong location can negatively impact the important work of the chapter. Strong emotions can change the world and can also change your future, as we saw with Neil Patterson. So consider having someone else read your email if it is written when you are fatigued or angry. In this case, being quick to respond may not work in your favor. In summary, good email etiquette isn't something we are born with. It is something that has to be intentionally practiced. This includes writing to the right person, writing a good subject line, writing with clarity and a good tone, writing the action that explains why you are writing the recipient, and then after writing, read your writing and check for errors. Because the person who people like to get emails from are those who write emails well written, straight to the point, and easy to follow. No one wants to read a dissertation of an email, and then again, no one wants to ask 20 times for information that should have been included in the initial email. Practicing the 5 rights to email communication will help you write a winning email each time. If you are interested in improving your writing, please visit the writing resources I have included in this presentation. I hope that you have found this Fast 5 session helpful. Thank you for participating.